Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hanging Out with Temi. I'm hanging out with Temi. My name is Temi Ajayi, and it's always ever good to be on this platform with this amazing, I was going to say people, but person. Normally, we will have Heidi with us. She's stuck somewhere in Peninsula, but hey, it's always good to have someone next to you. I'm happy to have you, Liz.
Yeah, sure. It's good to be here. Yeah, good to be back on the show again. It's Saturday.
Mm. Normally we would do our show at 6 o'clock, but today we're starting a little earlier, so people might be asking why. But our guest today is coming from the States, and where she is right now, it's about 11 p.m. at night. So if we do it a little later, it's gonna be midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's why we had to do this. So that's the reason. Liz, happy birthday, and all of our fans and followers and viewers, they've been saying happy birthday to you from all over the world. I was surprised, and
Yeah,
to say,
I absolutely felt celebrated. It was the best birthday ever. When we are in diaspora, we think we will never have the quality of celebration we know back home. But yeah, I think the Heart Girls really outdone themselves. It was a surprise to begin with, and then yeah, we really had a good time. We had an absolute good outing.
fantastic. We thank God for that. Thank God for the opportunity to be able to celebrate one with the other, and also we just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been, uh, saying something and wishing you a wonderful birthday. So thank you. If you're our regular viewers, as we say, thank you. God bless you richly for watching, and all those comments have been wonderful and really encouraging. And if you're coming for the first time,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And today is going to be fantastic. But last week, hey, my pastor, Pastor Malcolm McLeod, was fantastic. Guess is the Pastor Karen, the wife, said that when Pastor Malcolm came home, he was grinning. He was like all smiling, like, why are you like that? And he says that hanging out with Temi platform was the best he's ever attended. That was fantastic. I'm telling you that I was really having a blast with the girls, and so that was a credence to you guys. That was fantastic. Mhm.
Yeah, no, it was really good to have him with us. Absolutely.
Yeah, I will bring him back. We'll definitely bring him back. Today's topic, uh, truly, we have not had a chat about it today, and everybody is coming with their own issues or what is attractive to them or what caught their attention. And so we just thought we'd come as we are, as we do, just come today and talk about women's health. There's a whole
Yeah.
lot, a whole lot. I think at least we might need to. I don't think we can finish this year, considering our plans. But we will bring this doctor back because we cannot finish women. Women are too powerful, and we have a lot to do with us. Multifaceted. So we cannot finish all our women today. But do you have an idea how you're gonna share with people?
Um, yeah, well, we're talking about women's health. Yeah.
Yes.
Or basically, we said all things women, and that's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least you've zoomed us into women's health. So for this time around, it's a bit clearer what we're talking about. So women's health, definitely very, very important topic for us. Sometimes, we focus on building career, building a family, being there for others. and we neglect our own health. And when we introduced this topic, what came up for me was, you know what, if you, or you may have the career, you may have climbed the ladder, you may have built, you know, a most wonderful family. You may be right there for the people. Every time they call on you, they know that, you know, you are the go-to person and you will never let them down. But if you don't have the health, then, you know, everything is short-lived. You can't provide the quality that you are looking after if your health is failing on you. So the most important thing is take care of yourself first. Your health is the most important, and if that is in order, then for sure you can climb the ladder. You can give it 100% in every other area that you are setting your mind onto, but never, never fail yourself on your own health. And against that background, this topic then becomes one of the most important topics of this year, and particularly for us, really. And because, you know, as you always say, Tammy, here we learn, we grow, while we also teach the others. So, particularly for us, when we are there for the others, let's not neglect ourselves. Women's health, very important. And thank you for bringing this on.
Fantastic. Thank you. So, in fact, I was just going on that journey with you, and I believe that after everybody is listening to this discussion today, they will get a grip of themselves, because you're right. We neglect ourselves. We just think, let's look after my brother, my sister, nieces, nephew, children, and then you neglect yourself. But health is wealth, as they say. It's only when you have a life that you can actually be responsible or helpful to anyone. And I think the other thing that we do is, I think we look at the issues of life. It's big, and so that's why we put our, what do you do, to our to-do list, and we're not even reflecting on our to-do list ourselves. And that's the thing. So what I do, if I can share, is I always find little opportunity to, even if it's 5 minutes, to do something. From I'm conscious. I think that they say you got to be very conscious. Okay, not that I'm working, I'm a nurse, I'm on my feet for 8 hours, I've done exercise. No, that is just nothing. You have, unless while you're doing your work as a nurse, you're thinking, I'm going to do that power work. You know what I mean? And then you might have your watch that you're calculating how many steps you've done in a day. But if you're just working sluggishly, you're doing some whatever you're doing, medication around and all that, you're not doing anything. So it's about being aware of it and being conscious. And also, we watch a movie. You could be watching, hanging out with Tammy now, and be on your treadmill watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can watch it and just be on the treadmill, and I do that, sometimes. I think a little bit, a drop of water, they say sometimes can make the ocean. So just try and put yourself in your daily schedule. Yeah. Just do it. I
Um,
think, go ahead.
you're basically saying, we must be intentional about our health.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I hear. Be intentional, and it's not just standing up and taking a walk, but then, get a step into that walk. Don't just do things for the sake of ticking a box. To say, okay, today I did 500 steps. No, it's not like that. Let those 500 steps mean something. Yeah. So being intentional, definitely.
Also, Liz, the other thing we do as well is you could dress well and just wear, whatever you do, and what you put in your mouth again is another thing. Like a lot of us, like, we're busy and we're too busy, so it's easier to just get McDonald's and just grab a loaf or whatever. Again, you got to be very mindful. When I eat a slice, I mean, we went out yesterday to Williamstown, and I had that bread. I will not eat bread again for 2 days or 3 days like that. That slice. So just be conscious, and I go herbal as well. Herbal is very good. Do noni, do moringa. You need to do some natural herbal. It could be snacks, it could be
Product.
snacks now, products. They have
Mm.
not just they have it in capsule, that you can swallow. They have in milkshake. All those things are very important. So little things that you do to your body, your body is saying thank you. Knowing fully well in the temple of the Most High that it inhabits. So you need to be very careful what you put in your mouth. It's not just what you wear or the exercise you do. It's also what you put in your mouth. You can think about it. Be thoughtful. I know you're very
Yeah.
good at that. You mentioned I remember it was 2 days ago you were eating and you had a break during the food. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, "Nah, I'm just that was cool. And you had a break, and I think the French people like that. They eat and then they put the fork down and the cutlery down and they rest. Because when you are holding the cutlery like that, there's tendencies you want to put it down for a second, finish what you're doing, enjoy, feel the taste, enjoy it just slowly, rather than gobbling it. There's a
Yeah.
that's I use that.
Yeah, no,
Is
that's
that
that's exactly what they say, you need to take a bit of, that little 30-second breather between, each portion you put in your mouth. So, but sometimes the food is so delicious, we don't want to give that 30-second breather, yeah. And the green smoothie is equally very good. I don't necessarily like it, but yeah, I force myself to take the green smoothie, at least twice a week, really,
yeah,
because of the benefits it has, you know.
I could use it to cook vegetable stew or something that I'll eat it like that, like kale. But to smoothen it and drink it, that's a bit of an issue for me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an issue, but I do enjoy it really, because I don't drink it often. That twice a week that I drink the green smoothie is good for me really, and I make sure that it's all kale that I um, um, make the smoothie with. Um, Blend up the kale together with apple and other fruits, and then at least it kind of has a better taste. To put a bit of honey in there for a bit of sweetener, because otherwise it really tastes all just green and
No,
yeah, it's really nice though.
really? Yeah. Anyway, well, I think whatever goes, as long as you eat it, eat the grains,
Yeah,
eat the fish. But I've got some few things that I want to share. I want this doctor to explain to us about, and I can't wait for her to come on. So it's 11 o'clock. From Mansfield, where she resides. So I hope she'll be on very very shortly. I'm going to give her a test 1 minute. But before I go, let us 1 second. I think let's look at our video and just to have a break, and we'll be right back. If then it's gonna be good. What we're talking about is not the healthy eating or healthy living. We're talking about something even more deeper. So if you had looked at our flyer or even the schedule, you will see what is written there. So get ready because it's going to be extremely beneficial for you. So hold on, and in a minute we'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in to Hang. Tammy, and if you keep watching, you stay there. It's gonna be a good day today. I'm actually at a different location, so that's why I'm receiving. But I like this location of mine. Maybe I will
Yeah,
relocate and move here.
a little bit of change is good.
It's good. Yeah, I like change. I really do like change. We miss Heidi today, though.
Yeah, she's having a client, isn't it?
She said she was gonna be with a client and she might join us anytime soon.
I wanted to ask,
Go ahead.
yeah, when we came up with the women's health topic, what was coming up for you? What are you thinking personally?
Personally, actually, heading or in menopause now. I've been researching about menopause, but I
Mm-hmm.
thought this I listened to Christie speak once on menopause. I'm like, what? So because she is in the field and
Yeah.
I believe she's up to date with current releases on aging process of women.
Mm-hmm.
Aging process, I think, both male and female, but I heard her speak particularly on women once. I'm like, wow, I want to know because there's a whole lot of theory, that is coming up with aging, and
Yeah.
that's why I really want to talk about it. What do
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to? The other thing, Liz, is this hair follicle here, is starting to grow some mustache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know you could do some laser work, but we should recommend that laser thing because the fact that people are doing it, the fact that they said they're doing it doesn't mean it's healthy, doesn't mean it's okay. My mom always say the fact that a dress looks good on mannequin doesn't mean it's gonna look good on you. So get the expert advice
Yeah.
and everything before but this is really annoying. Well, I don't want to look like a man. What's that? Like
Yeah, yeah. We start fighting over the mirror because we both are shaving now.
I think the Y chromosomes is coming through. And how you could be both feminine and masculine and all that in you. But maybe there's recent thing that she knows about it. I mean, she can talk to us about that. And I want to talk about also, you know, urinary retention or frequency. And it's, like some of us used to, well, because we're busy or sometimes you hold yourself and you don't go to the
Yeah,
toilet. Like, are we gonna have incontinence as we go older? What should we be doing? I know if you need to go to the bathroom, go. But a whole lot of times, I know a lot of women hold on. And so, what can we do now, to prevent us having this early incontinence? You know,
yeah,
that's I've heard that few times. Uh, Coming up, the pelvic floor as well. Is it because the baby thing hard, pushes your pelvic and take it out of place, all sort of things like that. So I've got a few things I want to ask her that she should share with us. Um, a whole lot of ladies are having these severe varicose veins as well. You know, varicose veins. I've got two friends that have done surgery on the
yeah,
surgeries on the veins recently. It's very painful and all of that. So to tell us, how do you prevent that? How do you manage that apart from wearing TB grip on it? What else can you do? Or is there a tablet or whatever we could take to prevent, to thin the blood, whatever? And, you can't. I have an idea, but she's a doctor, and instead of me going and research, she might as well tell us.
yeah, sure. Ask the expert.
Hormone replacement medications. Oh, that is a big one. That's a big one. I've got a friend that just did hysterectomy
Yeah,
recently. She was placed on this hormone tablet, and she fluctuates badly. And so, should we take it? Should we take it? And when do you take those things?
yeah,
So I've
yeah,
got to ask her. See, I've got a lot.
yeah. No, I see you're very loaded. And with the hormone replacement tablets, also those um, issues that come with taking that. Some say it's not for everybody, and the others say you better be cautious and all that. So yeah, it's gonna be a good discussion, definitely.
I think so. I think so. So we're waiting on her to come. Because if you do, you're doomed. If you don't do, you're doomed. So what do we do? The other good thing about the menopause that I was looking at is this hot flushes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a whole lot of my English friends. They've got hot flushes, but I'm generally hot person. I get hotter,
Yeah,
like So I remember my husband said, now the car we have, each person can have their own air conditioner. So don't put my own my side of AC, don't put it on because I'm like I'm hot and it's like I'm cold. You know.
yeah.
So is it because they said African people don't have hot flushes? Again, because we're dark. Is my hot contained inside and it's burning me rather than come outside so I look red or pink? I want to know because some other of my friends they looking after them. They oh they menopause now they can go out and get fresh air. I don't get to get fresh air. I think
Uh,
I'm hot enough as well. you know.
yeah,
That's
no, definitely,
you're almost
absolutely.
there. You're getting there.
I mean, you don't get. I should say that the hot flashes is not something you kind of see. You can't say because I'm going pink, I've got a hot flash. No, you know, it's you have a hot flash. Some people just feel the heat. Other people are a bit sweaty. So you can't say Africans don't get hot flashes. It really just differs in how it comes to you.
That's what I thought. Then irritability.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Irritability.
absolutely.
Do you think it's a condition, Liz? This menopause, do you think it's a condition that should be because we could be irritable and it's not that you want to just be irritable, it's a condition that you have and people don't have consideration for you when you have these sort of things. So
I think everything that kind of destabilizes or brings a little bit of a change within your hormonal system has got a bit of an impact on you in terms of your mood swings and irritability. So even normally even if you're not a menopausal, but just during your normal period of the month, you even have that little mood swing that you have. Sometimes it comes with pain, other times it just puts you off certain smells, or you get nauseous. It comes with some sort of a mood swing for you. So I think against that background, the hot flashes, the more it's a major, major disruption within your hormones.
hmm, see, I know. What what else do I want to talk about?
What do you make of the pap smear?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I've got a gynecologist that I use. This man is like 85 years old, and I'm just praying God keep him longer, keep him
Yeah,
longer.
Wow,
You know,
yeah, you must be an expert.
he's such an expert. He's so good. So I feel comfortable with that old man. But I, I, I don't know if he's no longer there. Where do you go? Because it's not the most decent thing to do anyway. You know,
Yeah,
you should be over it with age. Like after 50, you don't need it anymore, kind of a thing. Yeah. The other thing is this contraceptive. I want to ask you about the contraceptive as well that we
yeah.
use. And when you get to over 50 in Australia, they remove it and tell you you're safe, you're free. Are you really safe? I've seen 60-year-olds get pregnant before. So I don't know if there's anyone that is pregnant after 50 without, the IUD or, some contraceptive. I want to know, maybe somebody, because we don't know. So I'm actually really curious. She might know, this doctor might know someone who is pregnant at 50. Please imagine if I'm pregnant.
Say that again.
Imagine if I'm pregnant.
Well, we will raise the baby.
Oh my God. That would be so weird. But these things could be happening that no one is telling us. So we gotta be very careful. I don't know if I want to trust this doctor that says you don't need any contraceptive anymore. Then the other thing is when do you stop your period? I guess it varies, but
Yeah.
when is the end? When does it end? Maybe some people are 50, 60, some maybe I don't know. So there are some things that unless you're working in that field, you don't know. And people can put anything on the internet sometimes. I don't know. Unless you go
Yeah.
to the medical journal report and to go to medical journal. How many things? So if the doctor comes, she will to more of this information. And sometimes they might go for the medical seminars, and people will share
Yeah.
with them that we might not know. So she promised she was going to be here right now at this time. So maybe we're going to end up doing our own talk by ourselves, and then that medical bulletin that I don't want to read, I have to go and read the bulletin now and find out what it is. My answer is, but I needed that answer, and it's not just me. A whole lot of people are needing that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely worth having the expert advice on some of those issues, really, because there's too much community corridor talk, really, and so sometimes we also Google things for ourselves, but we need to hear from the experts as well. So we definitely need her on board.
we need Christie. Let me tell you about the Dr. Christie anyway. Uh, Dr. Christie Egbuchunam is a family medicine doctor in Mansfield, Texas, and that Mansfield is affiliated with the clinic is affiliated with one hospital. She has been practicing for over 21 years, but uh, she's actually what am I saying? I read something. She's a public health practitioner as well, so she's good. She's good. She's the best one. I'm trying to get her. Sorry, 1 second. Adozie. Yeah, she's MD, Family Medicine, Public Health, Epidemiology. When I saw that, I thought I'll ask her a little bit about vaccine too. But our time is running too quickly. Um, so she might not be able to tell us about the epidemiology. Medical Director, Regency in Clinics. Did you see that?
Mm.
Medical clinics. So when I heard about healing clinics, healing medical clinics, I'm thinking,
Yeah,
you did. What does that sound to you?
healing medical clinics.
Sounds like Chinese medicine too. Maybe they're doing
Yeah,
some
acupuncture.
acupuncture. Yeah, I haven't heard it before. You told me to do it.
It's interesting.
You've done it, yeah? You've done the acupuncture.
Right, yeah, with my sinus. But yeah, it was very, it needed a little bit of a getting used to because I kind of felt like I'm being sacrificed.
On the chopping board. And they put
Yeah.
nails.
Yeah. I did feel better after that, but the process was because it's new to me, so I was lying there really being very observant in terms of what's happening. So, yeah, looking at all the movements and all the pins that they. Were putting around.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
yeah.
I can't do that. If I do that, am I going to be defying the temple of the Most High? I don't know. It's a
Well,
question.
it's medicine, so it's not pins you getting up and going around with. They put that in, and when it's over, they remove the little pins, and off you go.
Some of us are native, you see. That's why I need people to enlighten me. I'm just one-way traffic. What is it? What's the indication? What are they saying? Is this person making some noise while we're doing this? Or what? So we're all very guided. But was it helpful? Does it help your sinuses?
Well, yeah. Of course, I did feel better at that point in time. I've got chronic sinus issues. I think the pollen in the dust is not good to me. So every time I hang around in the wind, I've got issues. And that's what it is for me. It doesn't go for good, but medicine can bring relief at that point in time.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. While we're waiting for Dr. Christie Egbuchunam, would you like to hear our intro again, ladies and gentlemen watching? So please watch our intro. I'll give you the intro. We'll be right back. That's your favorite one, Liz. I hope
Yeah.
I hope other I hope other people likes it at all as well. We've got so much of this music and interludes that we could use. We can use interchangeably. But yeah, everybody's got their own choices. So I just want to tell to our viewers that usually I know what's happening here, Liz. I know what's in the US today. It's a Friday. You see, it's a
Yeah,
Friday. Yes, I think Dr. Christie missed the day because we're now because
wow.
yes, it's a Friday, so she's looking forward to tomorrow for Saturday.
Oh no.
So, but yeah, I'm chatting. I'm chatting now. Oh my
Okay, good.
gosh, we're so we're somebody said we're so far from everywhere else.
That's right. No, absolutely. We way ahead even in terms of our time.
It's unbelievable. I'm so sorry if I made a blunder. I should have reminded her. I just assumed, but she'll be with us. Now, if people are watching us, I want to see if there is a comment. Any comment? Because if you're watching us and if you've got a question or a query, Dr. Christian will come and she'll come back. If we're not able to attend to the queries today, she'll come back next time, to answer your question. So if you've got any query as a woman, what is it that is peculiar that you hear, that you see, or that you have, and that you want to query? So text it to us. If you're watching, just text us, ask us a question, and so we can put it through to the expert, and they can answer that for you. The other thing is belly fat. Belly fat. Most of us have got that. Please, we're drinking hot water in the morning with lemon. We're trying everything. You may be fit, physically fit, but you still got that belly. And I'm thinking, you know, you know, I'm thinking, I
Yeah,
contemplated one time doing liposuction or some sort of suction, but there was a time that a president's wife in my country died in the
yeah,
process of doing that surgery, and that traumatized me. So since then, I yeah, that's it for me. And also, you always have to query everything. Is
yeah.
that I don't know. I always query. Am I going to be? What am I going to sin if I do that? We need to ask these questions. As a pastor, am I sinning? This pastoral duty, yeah? Everything you
Yeah.
have to answer from the Father, then you just sit on it. If you're not telling me, then I will see. So it's a big deal. It's a big commitment.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have to your flesh every second, because left for me, I will have done some push up here, push up there. But then but I ask question every time, like, Daddy,
Mm,
Daddy, it's a big deal. But when
yeah.
next week, Karen, when we bring Pastor Karen, she's a senior pastor, okay? I serve under her. We're gonna ask her this. Because I didn't get the answer to it. So I'm always asking questions. I'm always querying.
Mm,
It's a good thing,
yeah.
isn't it? Ask questions. If,
Well,
if you're,
excuse me, Timmy.
I said it's a wise thing to always to be inquisitive.
No, absolutely, absolutely, because there's so many opinions going out, everybody has an opinion about something. So if you're not inquisitive, then you equally have a number of opinions to follow, and you will have no leg to stand on. So being inquisitive helps you to form your own opinion as well, and to know exactly what you want to follow. So, but then the issue of belly fat is definitely a big one, and I think exercise is very good for that. I must admit, the doctors, in terms of obesity, there's a difference between having belly fat and being obese, really. But when it comes to obesity, you can only lose your weight when it is below a certain limit. But if it's over that, every effort you try will only take you for a few months. And after that, eventually, your weight will pile back up and even, increase from where it was. So when you are obese, you definitely need the help of the doctors to be able to lose your weight, to bring it down to a normal, range based on your height and your weight. So obesity is a big thing, and obviously there are ways of going about it. But just getting rid of belly fat, there are very useful ways of doing it. If you go to YouTube, there's so many DIY. Like you were saying, drink the hot water and add the ginger and the garlic and lemon and name them all things for advice. So
I've done all
yeah,
that. Trust me. It didn't work for me. It didn't work. I know, but yeah, I understand. Obesity, morbid obesity, all those things. If it's going to be health,
mhm.
your health, then now they will have to do something about it. In saying that, really, I think medicine is still. We cannot dispute medicine. Otherwise, even these glasses we're wearing, we shouldn't be wearing glasses.
That's
If you don't
right.
talk about it, I'm just talking. But I think Dr. Christie is getting on. We're not going to be able to do much. Let me just add that on. Hello, Dr. Christie.
Hello. I
Good
am
Hi,
morning.
so
hi.
sorry. Whew. This time difference is a mess. I think I had a different idea of the time. How are you?
We're doing good. I've been waiting for the guru person to come. But it's really good to have you on. So thank you for your
Well,
time.
thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry once again. I think 2,300 hours means a different thing here to me than to you guys. We're in a different time frame. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. That's
Well,
okay. Yeah.
welcome. I've spoken a little bit about you, and that's Liz Greatness. You met Liz. You've seen her
Hi,
previous.
Liz. How are you?
Hi, doctor. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Welcome. Welcome to hanging out with
Thank
Tammy.
you. Thank you. Hi, Tammy. How are you doing?
Doing good. I've been
Awesome.
bubbling for you to come in and help me out
I know.
because
I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm late, but we'll have many more sessions. That's good. Mhm.
definitely because we got quite a number that we've penned down really, and that we're going to ask you. And Heidi is not here today, but you're going to meet Heidi next time. We
That's
I
okay.
was going through your profile. I was looking at one. I was going to check with you. In medicine, you have a clinic, medicine clinic or something. It sounds like acupuncture or something to me.
No, I have a Regency. It's called Regency Healing Medical Clinic, a med spa. So it's a full-fledged family practice, family medicine clinic, and then we also have a med spa attached to it. So it's like two companies in one. Mm.
So does that
So
mean there's a plastic surgery as well?
no. So med spa is not surgery. So it's called medical spa. So what that means is we do a lot of procedures like laser hair removals, facials, We treat wrinkles, we treat acne, and so many other things, but we don't really do surgery. We also do sculpting, like like body sculpting, weight loss. We do all those things. So that is what the med spa does. We have laser machines, we have all sorts of equipment that we use, beauty treatments. Um, and then the other side of it is a full-fledged medical practice. Yeah, primary care.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Maybe you are the answer to my prayer.
I wish. We'll see.
I believe so. I thought I was going to ask that. Dr. Christie, you've been in Mansfield you've been in the practice for over 20 years.
More than actually, I graduated medical school in 1990 in Nigeria. I got here in 97. Finished my residency 2005, and so I've been practicing. I was in Parkland Hospital for as a lead physician for a couple of years. I opened my own practice in 2010. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Dr.
Thank
Christie.
you.
To you speak. By the way, I need to throw this in. Dr. Chrissy and my husband went to the same secondary school. So they've been friends for over 35 years or so
You mean
now.
37 years? At Federally Done. That's a long time.
So these people, and I was going to ask you, unfortunately, this time is just so bad. I'm like, I said to my husband, I wonder how you look that time. You look like you were meaning something, like,
Oh, whatever. Thank you, but no, I feel my age. Age is just a number. That's the way I look at it. Mm,
thank you. That's it. That's one of my questions. Yeah, age is a number. But
just a
that's
number.
and during the alumni, they do the alumni every now and then, and they do they educate themselves. And I listen to you speak one of those sessions. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this is fantastic. Some of my queries they were there, you were going to tackle on that day, and that's why we thought,
Yeah.
you come on.
We're a very tight knit group, alumni Federally Done. Not sure how we
So
do it, but we're very tight knit. Thank God.
83 section. You guys rock, by the way. You
Thank
rock.
you. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love it, all of you. Fantastic. Thank you so
We
much.
have
So
amazing people in our class. Yeah.
yeah, we're not gonna waste any more time, but we're bringing you back because, like I said, we've got layers and layers. But how we still need to ask you how America is. What is the atmosphere now in America?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
What is the political atmosphere now with Kamala
Oh,
and
well, I think things are coming. Finally, everybody's facing reality. We have a new president that's gonna be sworn in January, and we're looking forward to that. I know I
fantastic?
am.
I know I am.
We need
Fantastic.
some peace. We need to get a hold of this coronavirus. It's just a lot of drain on us healthcare people. It's just very tiring. Yeah, we're ready to move on from here. Yeah.
Fantastic. But I think next time we're going to bring you back, it will be about the epidemiology because I know that's your field as well. Because we need to know about this vaccine thing, what it
Yeah.
is topic, and
Exactly.
most importantly today it's about aging and it's about menopause.
Yeah.
So, and I hear often that like now I feel menopause. I'm getting some hot flushes. But I think I heard you that we don't have hot flushes or some not hot flushes, but hot inner heat or something. But I know I'm hot. So
Black
this
women. Mhm.
can you please tell us, are we different from our white counterparts that they hot flush every day?
Well, we're all women and we all go through menopause, but we manifest it different ways. For one, our skin doesn't look the same. So when white woman has her flashes, she'll be red, she'll be sweating, she manifests it, and people can tell. Are you a black person? You're having hot flashes. Nobody can tell unless you tell them, right? We're more likely to have what we call internal heat, crawling sensations, and moodiness, moody issues. But the big thing we hear about menopause all the time is hot flashes, hot flashes, hot flashes. Well, a lot of Black people don't really get hot flashes. I mean, if you're having it, people will not see it because your skin won't show it, right? Um, so and we culturally we are different, because Black is very diverse. When you say a Black person, it could mean from one continent to another. Like Africans are completely different from African Americans, and the way we culturally we don't talk about stuff like that. We don't feel free. African women tend to suffer in silence, more than other people. And so many of us will tell you that we don't even know when our mothers went through menopause because they didn't talk about it. But it doesn't mean they did not go through menopause. Things like internal heat, crawling sensations, or just being irritable and biting everybody's head off, and nobody knows why. And so you don't even get the sympathies. People end up saying, "What is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? She's just mean," and all that stuff. But you get to be blamed for going through menopause, whereas a white lady most likely will get a lot of sympathies for going through menopause. So those are the kind of disparities and differences that we see. And also Black women are more likely to have other, because we tend to have many other issues going on. Like, let's just put it right, like an African woman that has to feed her kids, she doesn't have as much means as like an average white woman. She will put her needs to the side, which is what women of African origin do. We don't think about our own problems. We take care of everybody else before we even think about our own problems. So that's where that suffering in silence comes from. And so there's a general notion that African women don't go through menopause. We do, just like every other person, just in a different way. Mm.
Mhm. Wow. Liz, what's your you can ask your question?
Well, I want to talk about the issue of pap smear. How important is pap smear for when you are probably at that stage of menopause and beyond? Is pap smear still important during that time?
Pap smear is extremely important, because the HPV vaccine, that is the only cancer preventing vaccine that we have right now in the world, is for prevention of cervical cancer. And most women who are in their middle age, in their 50s right now, were not candidates for that vaccine. So most of us did not get it, right? So that means that we really have to be serious about, even those that get the vaccine, they still have to do the pap smear. But most women in their middle ages now have to be serious about pap smear. Women have to have pap smear until at least they hit 65 years old. If they are low risk, then they don't have to have it. But
Mm-hmm.
until that age, a woman needs to have pap smear. Now there are different ways of doing pap smear now. Like, I know that when I do pap smear of most of my patients, we do what we call, we don't wait for reflex HPV. We do it with HPV when a woman is 30 years and over. That means they don't just take your pap smear and read pap smear. They have to do a HPV, especially for the high risk human papilloma virus. So if that result comes back and it's negative, then a woman over 30 does not have to have a pap smear every year. You can go 3 to 5 years, if it's done with HPV. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not like you have to do it every year, but it has to be done right. It has to be done with HPV. What most people do is they do reflex HPV. Reflex HPV is not is indicated when you're less than 30. If you're 30 or over, they have to do it with HPV every time you get a pap smear done. That way you don't have to do it every year. Now, if they don't do it with HPV, then you have to get your pap smear done every 2 to 3 years at the most. Mm.
See, we don't know that. No one educates us in
Yeah,
that.
that's
You
the
see,
way it works.
unbelievable. Um, the other one I was gonna ask you is uh, the contraception.
Yeah.
The, they saying that you don't need to have the IUD after 50. Have you seen any 50-year-old pregnant before?
Yes. So the thing about it is that if you are a woman that's still having periods and still ovulating, and some people do that up to the age of 50. Most of these things are genetic. So there are some people that have their periods up to their mid 50s. That means they're still ovulating, most of them, and they can definitely get pregnant. Yeah. So, but if you've had your menopause and probably haven't had a period for 2 or 3 years, we also recommend that you do some hormonal testing. But most women, once they hit menopause and they are no longer having periods, at least 2 years after period, that they're not likely to be ovulating. Yeah.
Oh
But if
my.
anybody who is still having their periods, which some women, quite a lot of women go through, still have their periods in their 50s. And so it's usually genetic. So I usually tell my patients, find out from your mom. If your mom had a hysterectomy when she was young, find out from your sisters or your aunts, whoever is older than you, when they had their menopause, because it tends to run in families that way, unless somebody has a hysterectomy or something else that would intervene with that. Yeah.
This is extremely important to me because I've
Mhm.
got a couple of my friends where in our 50s,
Yeah.
and the gynecologist said we don't need any IUD, we don't need anything anymore. And most of us are still, doing our periods. So
No.
this is
If you're still having your period, you could get pregnant. Yeah. Now, if the gynecologist has done some hormonal testing and has determined that you're not ovulating, but hey, there is no 100% about it, nobody can be sure. Because the thing is that when a woman is going towards menopause, you're not ovulating regularly. So that's why the periods are kind of irregular, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't get pregnant. You can. Mm. The
okay.
chances, the chances are less. Chances are less, but you can. But if you're no more having your periods and the periods have stopped for like 2 or 3 years, yeah, most likely it's not likely that you get pregnant. Yeah.
So
So
you're
usually a
saying,
lot of women will have some kind of IUD, like copper paraguard, like the one that lasts 10 years. So they will have it somewhere towards like 2 or 3 years after their period has stopped, then they will take it out because they don't need it at that point. Mm.
yeah, you are just the best. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And I'm sure all
Well,
of you girls, if you're listening, don't come back to me. You listen to Dr. Christie now. If you have a baby at 50, you're on your own. I'm not a doctor.
it's happened to a lot of people, yeah.
To my house. I've got enough.
It's definitely possible if you're still having your period. So never say never.
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Hey, Dr.
Yeah.
Christie, I think this is one of your friends, Dr. Hope, one of your alumni, is just
Hi,
saying,
Hope. Yeah.
apparently it's her birthday today.
Oh, yeah. Today is the 5th. Yeah.
Oh, okay, happy birthday, Dr. Hope, if you're
Happy birthday, Hope.
happy birthday. Now, the other thing I need to ask you is, what was the other one I was going to say? Hysterectomy thing. A few of my friends have just done the surgery, and they were prescribed the hormone supplement medications. And I know some people haven't done anything, but they place on this hormone tablet. What are the effects? Do we?
Generally, if you still have a womb, I don't recommend that you do HRT. Yeah, at least definitely not just straight estrogen because you cannot take the HRT like the estrogen unopposed. There's one that is called Prempro, which contains both estrogen and progesterone. But a few years ago, there was a major research that was done that showed that a lot of women were getting more heart problems on that medication. So it's kind of difficult to make that recommendation if you still have a womb for me, because then I have to choose. It's like walking a very fine line. Usually I would just explain the details to the patient and have them make the choice. The only reason to be on HRT, really, the only major indication is if you're having life altering hot flashes. Let me just say it that way. That's the only, if you're having very severe hot flashes that makes it difficult for you to function on your day-to-day basis, then it doesn't make sense to start worrying about something that may or may not be, because you have to survive at this point. But if it is not something like that, I don't recommend it. Now, if you have had, because it does increase your risk for uh, basically uterine cancer, which is cancer of the womb, as well as cancer of the breast, right? So it's something you have. What we say in medicine, does the risk outweigh the benefit? That's a choice you have to make. Like I said, if you're having a life altering, I know I have seen some patients who cannot function, they cannot sleep, they cannot do anything. Usually, like in Caucasian women, it's really severe and they can't bear it, like, so, well, we play around with something. Then there's something that people are calling, bioidentical hormones, like the natural version of those. They are still the same thing. They are still hormones. They have the same effect. And I've heard a lot of people push bioidentical hormones like they are not hormones. It doesn't matter whether it's synthetic or bioidentical or whether it's natural. A hormone acts just like a hormone. It's still the same risk. One might be more risky because it's a synthetic product, but I don't know any research that has proven that. So um, that's just a stand. If you have had your womb taken out, then the only thing you have to be concerned about is breast cancer. So if you're having a lot of symptoms, I'm more likely to lean towards giving the hormone. But when you have your womb and you have your breast, it's kind of a difficult decision for me as a woman to make. But I would explain to the patient in details what the risks and benefits are. To me, the only benefit really to be on HRT, the pill, is life-changing hot flashes. Because if it is like other women, we didn't mention that menopause, some people, is vaginal dryness. When that happens, you can give a local estrogen cream for that. If that is the main problem. And then people that have irritability and other things, there are a lot of pills that we use for, SSRIs, a lot of pills that we use for other things that can actually help mitigate those symptoms. There are also some natural supplements over the counter that, do help. Things like black cohosh, and red primrose oil capsules, over the counter. They're just more than enough to help some people with some of their symptoms. So we try everything. But those that have had their womb taken out, they are more likely to are more likely to lean, if they're having very serious problems, towards giving them HRT, like estrogen or estradiol, because they have less of a risk, but they still have a risk for breast cancer. Mm.
Wow. Wow, fantastic. In this short
I want to know in terms of the womb. Um, is it important to have that taken out, or if you can keep it, can you keep it for as long as you want?
Well, the womb really is just a part of the body. You only take it out if there's something going on, right?
Okay.
If somebody has fibroids of the womb, or is bleeding like crazy, or has some tumors in there, like, it needs to come out. But if there's nothing in the womb, it doesn't need to be taken out, just like any other part of the body. But a lot of women would have things like fibroids or excessive bleeding or some things, even sometimes cancer of the cervix or cancer of the womb, that would require that the womb be taken out. So those women who have had it, and there's something called partial hysterectomy or total, like some people would have, depending on what caused it, they would have their womb, their tubes, and their ovaries taken out. And then when that happens, they don't really have to worry about the GYN cancer of that area again. So most women, when they have a reason to have surgery done, I usually recommend to my patients, if you're like around your 50s or you have to have surgery done, go ahead and take the ovaries and everything out so you don't have to worry about it, because by then the ovaries are not really functioning anymore, right? And then you don't have to worry about that, all those organs again, you know. But every individual is taken on a one-on-one basis depending on what's going on with that particular patient, but there is not a general rule to just take out the womb just because you're menopausal or anything like that. No.
Okay.
Wow. Unbelievable. Liz, go ahead. The floor is yours. Doctor.
Yeah, no, I think it was more about the hysterectomy that I really wanted to understand.
Mm.
When it comes to ovaries,
Yeah.
if your ovaries are blocked, for instance, can you keep them, or is it worth taking them out? I mean, I heard you saying, if you're over 50, it's better to take it out, but so some people keep it.
No, I was just saying that if you're over 50 and you have any reason to go through surgery, like let's say somebody who has fibroids of the womb and is
Yeah.
bleeding like crazy, is one of the commonest things, very common in women, and they're having a lot of heavy bleeding, then at that point the womb is more likely to come out. So what I was saying is, usually my patients will ask me, oh, should I just save my ovaries and my tubes? And I tell them at this stage, you don't need those things. And then you don't just take it at the same time so you don't have to worry about cancer of the ovaries. You don't have to worry about all those things, because some people will have their womb taken out and then they have to go back later and get another surgery to have the ovaries taken out. But in your 50s, the ovaries are not functional anymore. They're not. That's why people start having menopause and hot flashes at that age, because it's the ovaries that make the hormones, the female hormones, right? So when they are no longer functioning, they're just an appendage in your body. So if you have any reason to have your womb taken out, just go ahead and take all those out. That's what I usually say. Mm. Now the surgeons may not like it because it's one surgery for them, but if they do it twice, like it's two surgeries, so it takes longer time. But for the patient, I think at that age is more beneficial to get it out. Mm.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much. I think
You're welcome.
that's the answer that you have given us is just so good and very useful.
Thank you.
And I always like to get from the people that actually really understand what I'm saying. Like we can clarify something with you rather than just going to your bulletin.
Yeah.
And like I said, the information that someone, that's why they always say get a second opinion. The
Yeah.
information they give us is just confusing, like really, and I understand we're all human beings, but it's good to check with you. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Hope just said that you can have, yes, a woman can definitely get pregnant after 50 years as long as
Yep.
the long ego, the ego causes baby acquire. Thank you so much. We don't want baby acquire. Good. And
Yeah.
we're gonna have
Can
to.
I ask one more question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. I want to find out, so many young girls when they go to their gynos and so on, come back home with issues of cyst. Why are cysts so popular during this day and age? And is there some sort of a home remedy for it, or do they necessarily have to go through surgery to remove them?
I guess you mean ovarian cyst, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, in a majority of young people, ovarian cyst is not abnormal. It's a physiological thing. So see, it
Okay.
depends on the stage of your cycle when the ultrasound is done. And unfortunately, even some doctors don't know this. At a certain stage of your cycle, like if you get an ultrasound done when the woman is ovulating, you're gonna see a lot of cysts in the ovary, because that is how the eggs are shed, right? So the eggs are shed, you make a form of cyst and you release the eggs, and those empty sacs look like cysts. So when you do what do you call it, ultrasound, which is how we normally diagnose those cysts in a young girl. Uh, Most young women, you're gonna see a cyst, especially if they're ovulating. So that is not an indication for surgery. What I usually do, if I'm looking for something, most of those things are called incidental findings in medicine, right? So if I'm looking for something and they come back and tell me, oh, there's an ovarian cyst, what a very seasoned radiologist will tell you, okay, we need to repeat this in 6 months, right? Or just to see what it is, or maybe whatever. Or at least if you know the state of the patient cycle, when I send them for this next time, I make sure they're not doing the ovulation, and I have my patients track their cycles, right? So they know when they're doing ovulation, and we try not to schedule it during that time.
Mhm.
Then you find that the cysts have disappeared. So there are so many things in medicine. You have to look at the intent. And I hate to say this because I'm a physician. Some physicians like to chop. That's how they make their money, do surgery, take it out.
Yeah.
That's why it's always good to look for a second opinion. In a young person, most likely that cyst is a benign cyst. It's not likely to be anything that needs surgery. Now, if it's gonna be something that needs surgery, it needs to be biopsied first. When you get a biopsy, then you indicate. You don't just take somebody and take up their ovaries in a young person. That I don't think that there's an indication for that. Yeah. Now, as you get older, ovarian cancer is more common. But even a good imaging will explain to you the kind of cyst you have. It will tell you whether it's a simple cyst, which is usually benign. If it's a cyst that we have to worry about, like teratomas and so many other kind of tumors, it will also describe that, and then you know what you're dealing with. Yeah. But most benign, simple cysts are just benign, especially in young people. It's not indication for surgery.
That's good to know. So every cyst is not for operation.
Most of them are not, especially young people. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely good to know. I think I've personally I've heard about 3 operations for to remove cysts.
Yeah.
So that's how popular it is, particularly where I come
Did they
from.
did they
They
send the
make
state for
sure
biopsy
they
for
want
pathology? They should be able to tell you what it was, because if it wasn't anything uh, like cancer, it shouldn't have been removed. most
Wow.
most of these things will go away. They'll go away by themselves. But if they Now, there's something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. So, if you have a young person that what we call PCOS, they tend to make a lot of cysts in their ovaries. That's an actually different disease. That's also, there's no indication for surgery, but they have to be on
Mm-hmm.
certain medications for them to be able to get fertile. Those so PCOS tends to make those young people make them overweight, really overweight. They have what we call metabolic syndrome. They are very prone to diabetes and so many other complications that go with metabolic syndrome. That's a whole different complex by itself. In that kind of ovary, you see multiple cysts, and then when you do some lab tests, they come with certain other, um, associated things that help us to make that diagnosis. But even in those people, the surgery is not an indication. With medications, we give them. Hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Next time, I'm going to pile up my other questions because I was going to ask you as well about, severe menstrual pains,
Yeah.
all that. And, you were
Yeah.
talking about going to take the hormone, replacement tablet for that and all that.
Yes.
But
Yes. Yes. Yes.
that's a big talk on its own. Because the time is not on our side, I don't want to hold you back. We will
Yeah. We can deal
definitely
with that some other time.
a whole lot. I want to ask you even about the children. I spoke with you about children's health as well. So I will have to bring you back, Dr. Christie. Thank
Sounds
you,
great.
and we appreciate your time. If you're watching us, you got questions for Dr. Christie, put it back because send it to us because we're going to bring Dr. Christie back. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry about being late. I have to get used to this intercontinental time difference. Mm.
Yeah, this is almost our time usually. And we actually did this earlier because of you. We normally start, we will have started our time, which is 6 o'clock Australian time. And
Oh.
but because it's like 1 o'clock or something in Manchester, that's why we said to do it earlier just to suit
Oh,
you.
that's fine
Anyway,
with me. I don't. That's fine with me. I don't sleep that early.
That
Wow,
makes
that's
me
good.
thank you.
Yeah, that's all
Thank you so
right.
Liz, appreciate and comment on our ladies. Ladies, we've got too much issues going on. It's just too much for the ladies, so we need help in a whole lot of ways.
Anytime. We'll talk about it in other sessions. They can just get all their questions on, and then we deal with them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fun.
I think that's very well done. Yeah.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank you for watching. I will come back again this time next week. Appreciate you.
Thank
Bye bye.
you. Have a great
Bye.
week. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.